the 95 WIIL ROCK Summer Trip. I think I'm just going to go with. What is it? Yeah, turn that audio down. A drum roll, and then you're just going to announce it. Exciting? Is that good?
Why are you talking like that?
Because it's an exciting thing. This is how it. I'm excited about this.
So am I.
I've been on this trip before. Can I tell you the pre-boarding email went out yesterday, and kudos to travel leaders. The price was way lower than I thought it would be for this. So let's just announce it. Are you going to announce it after the drum roll, or am I?
How about
I
we
will
both
set
do it?
you up and you
Okay.
announce it.
All right.
We have no idea what the hell we're doing. It's the world's longest drum roll, by the way, so we have time to plan. So how's your life? How's things going? Everything good?
Good.
Yeah. All right. How's the family? Good.
Good.
You want some cantaloupe?
It's just
Crappy drive down here last night.
a little
that's
icy.
for sure.
Yeah. All right.
A little bit.
95 WIIL ROCK Summer Road Trip 2022. We're back to doing them in the summer. The last couple of years, we had to do the fall thing because we couldn't go on this kind of trip. This kind of trip wasn't happening. I've been on this trip before, and it is so exciting. It is a bucket list trip. If it's not on your bucket list, it should be. We are going to
Alaska.
We're going on an Alaska cruise with Celebrity Cruise Lines.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, I just went on a celebrity cruise like a couple of months ago, and I went on the same exact class of ship, which is basically the same ship as what we're going on.
Right.
What is the name of the ship we're going on?
This is called the Millennium.
And I went on.
Actually,
I
you've
went
been on
another
this ship before.
On the Millennium?
Yes.
I think,
Right?
No, I went on the Equinox, and I just went on the. It's another Millennium class ship.
Okay, I
The
thought
Millennium
you were
was
Summit.
Summit.
You
Yeah,
were
I
on
went
the
on the Summit. Yeah, which is the exact same thing.
Yeah. So this one was renovated, fully refurbished in 2019.
Yeah.
And then COVID came.
So it's actually the oldest of the Millennium. It's named.
Correct.
The class of ship is named after this because it was the
Yes.
first ship of that class. So it's the oldest one, but it's actually the newest one because they just refurbed it.
Right.
And then they shut it down. It's got that squeaky clean new ship smell to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, Alaska, of all the trips we've done, one of the best trips, man.
I think so too. I did this with my kids, and we, as a Christmas present, we said, "Hey, we're going to Alaska," and they were like, "Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Some people
do
are
we
like,
have to go to Alaska?"
I saw somebody post about, I like warm in the summer. I like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Alaska's warm in the summer. Last trip we went on, it never dropped below 70 something during the day.
Right.
There are swimming pools on the ship. We went in the swimming pools on the ship. Alaska's not a cold, and it never rained. It rained one day on the last cruise, and it wasn't even in Alaska. It rained when we were in Vancouver the final night.
Yeah.
Which is where we're starting this trip.
Right. The weather has been really, really crazy. And getting back to my kids, it was the best vacation. We talk about this. It was the best vacation that they ever had.
Yeah.
It was so different from what we did, which was a beach type vacation.
Yeah.
But they learned so much, and they got A's on about 6 projects when they came back.
I wasn't expecting what we got when we went last time. I kind of didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be cool, but it was so much more than I thought it was. There were things on that trip, stories that every day there was a story that I tell people. I tell people the story about the whale watching day. I tell people the story about the railroad that took us up into Canada where you couldn't get off the train because you were in another country, but you didn't show your passport. And that railroad was just freaky. It's one of those trestles you see in a movie.
Yeah.
And like the stuntman is dangling from the outside of the train because you're like 8,000 feet up or whatever. I tell a story about the day we walked on a glacier. I tell a story about the day we went up in the fjord and the ship spun around and like chunks of, when you see a glacier and like chunks are falling off of it into the we watched that one entire morning.
That's cool.
And then the chunks would go floating by the ship. It was
It's
so
like
cool.
in slow motion, isn't
Yeah,
it? It
it's-
just slowly.
it just cracks and
It
goes
sounds
off in
like
there.
fireworks in a way.
Yeah.
And
you see it happen, and then you hear it like 4 seconds later, and you're like,
And then you see the waves come, and it's not huge waves.
No, it's
but
not gonna.
It's
you don't
so
feel it.
still, and then all of a sudden that wave hits.
There it goes.
and it's like a ride,
So neat.
like a roller coaster ride. It's like everybody goes woo.
I tell stories. They were out on the deck handing out hot chocolate. I tell stories about our first stop, which was Ketchikan and the Eagles. That's my favorite story. So we get off the ship. This is the first. We get off the ship, the first place in Alaska. which is Ketchikan, and we got our camera, and all of a sudden we see an eagle sitting on a telephone pole or whatever. I'm like, get the camera, get the camera, get the camera.
Yeah.
So we take a picture of an eagle. We walk like 20 more steps. There's another. Oh, there's another one. Get the camera, get the camera. And we walk like 30. There's another. And then I thought, oh, they're like robins here.
Oh,
there's
they're everywhere.
There's just eagles everywhere. And then I tell the story about salmon. Who I'm not into salmon. They have salmon everything. Salmon jerky,
right in
salmon
Ketchikan.
vodka.
Right in Ketchikan, you can go on that creek and then follow that, and that's what I did one day.
Yeah.
The ladies went shopping, and I followed this creek and watched the salmon go up the creek, so to speak, to die.
Yeah,
and
He's a lot of fun. You're a lot of fun at a party,
and
Brian.
you know, when we're there, which is the 19th through the 26th, you are going to see that salmon run.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That is really. We're there during the whales, so you can we were in Cabo one time, and the whales were there. It's the same Cabo's whales are the same ones as the ones we saw in Alaska.
It's the Cabo whales.
It's Cabo whales in the
Yeah.
Ketchikan. You went and watched the creek and watched the salmon. The ladies went shopping. I went to a bar and had salmon vodka because they have salmon everything.
Yeah.
And a Bloody Mary with salmon vodka.
Oh, that would be delicious.
It was really neat. There's a lot to the trip. We'll run down the details. Kudos to Brian, who's here from Travel Leaders, because the price is so much better than I thought it would be. We'll tell you about that and what's included and all that stuff coming up next. But we're going to Alaska in August. You can join us. What are the dates, Brian?
19th through the 26th.
The 19th through the 26th. You can book it now, and if you book it now and you sign up, there's a $100 per person discount as well, which runs through
March 4th.
March 4th.
Which is a Friday.
So talk to your friends about it, talk to your family about it, and get signed up. All the details right now, front of the main page at 95WIILRock.com. It's 8:12, Will Rock Morning Show, Tom and Stino.
Some flurries this morning, then sunny with a high of 25.
More details about our summer cruise to Alaska with Celebrity Cruise Lines and Travel Leaders coming up next. If you have questions for Brian or anything about the trip, he's going to be here about the next 40 minutes. Now is the time to text your questions to 68255. Studio, the keyword, and we'll get them answered coming up on Will Rock.
President's Day sales event is going on now at Crystal Lake Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Good job, Tom.
You can lease a new Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4 for only $239 a month.
I know, for the early birds this year. I'm not sure what you two were doing.
Yeah.
But you sure did your job this year.
So a lot of it's, and I want to say that get the early bird. It's no obligation. Some of the cabin categories can fill up, or different things
Right.
can fill up. So you want to sign up as soon as possible. And the early birds have probably gobbled up a bunch of stuff.
They did, and what really sells the best, actually, that's going to sell out first will be the upper cabins.
Yeah.
So that will be the balcony cabins.
I think you got to upgrade to a balcony.
You have to.
Inside cabin is fine. If you're going on a budget, that's fine. What do you do in your cabin? You sleep in it. The only time where when we went to Alaska, I was like, I'm glad we had the balcony, is the day we watched the icebergs float by.
Yeah.
We went on we went on the top deck for a little bit to watch them fall, and they were handing out cocoa.
Yeah.
But we had literally stayed up partying from the night before. So we were rolling
That's
through.
a surprise.
So I'm like, I'm going to go watch this from the cabin. And we, you know what? We cracked open the mini bar and we watched the icebergs float by and the stuff fall.
That's
off the
what I
glacier
was going to say.
from
It's,
the cabin.
it's such a great spot
Yeah.
to take it in. Make sure that you have some drinks. Go out on your balcony. You know, the weather could be 60, could
Yeah.
be 70, could be in the 50s, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you're seeing this theater happen in front of you that is
nature just taking off in front of you, and it was breathtaking. But people were like, oh, it's cold. We went in the outdoor pools on the ship on this cruise. There's hot tubs. There's the solarium pool that you
Right.
can always go in. It's
Right,
inside.
right.
You still take your bathing suit. You still have that kind of cruise where you're in a lounge chair.
Right.
You just happen to see mountains and glaciers and
Yeah.
elk, and we're going and there's like animals in the sun. I'm like.
It's like you're in a swimming pool and seeing the zoo go by.
You know what you think an Alaska cruise is, and then you go on one and you're like, it was all that, but you're like, it's life changing. It shows you the majesty of anyway. If you have questions, text them in now to 68255 studio, the keyword. If you book by what date?
March 4th, which is a Friday.
You save $100 per person. So
Right.
that's a week from Friday.
Right.
So if you're thinking about it, pull the pin, save that Hondo right there. You can get all the details right now on the front page at 95WIILRock.com and join us on the Alaska cruise. If you've got questions for Brian, text them in now. It's 8:20.
Some flurries this morning, then sunny with a high of 25.
Jack White now at WIIL Rock. You got questions about the 95 WIIL ROCK Summer Trip, which we just announced with Brian from Travel Leaders? Text them now to 68255. Studio the first word in your message, followed by what you want to know. We'll get some of them answered coming up in just a couple minutes. We got Brian here for about another half hour or so. 68255. Studio the keyword, but book it soon because you get the discount if you do it before next Friday. But also, some of the stuff fills up. Some of the options fill up. You don't want to miss out on having everything possible that you want out of the trip. It is a bucket list trip. I've done it, and you think, oh, it'd be one and done. No, I'm thrilled to be going back because there was so much more to experience. More about that in just a little bit. 8:30 now, WIIL ROCK Morning Show, Tom and Stino.
Some flurries this morning, then sunny with a high of 25. Tonight, chance of snow, low of 19. Tomorrow, chance of snow with a high of 28. It's 14 in Carpentersville and 15 in Lake Zurich. It is time for the 95 WIIL ROCK 95-second update. An investigation is underway after a man was struck by a passenger train near Lake Forest. Metro Police say the incident took place on Tuesday afternoon near Route 60. The victim was said to be walking near the tracks when he was struck in the arm. The man was hospitalized. A Republican state lawmaker has sued the Illinois House Speaker over face mask requirements at the state capitol. State Representative Blaine Wilhauer filed a lawsuit after he and 8 other Republican legislators were barred from the House floor for refusing to wear masks. The state has been under an indoor mask mandate, which will be lifted at the end of the month as COVID-19 cases drop. 95 WIIL ROCK Sports. Brought to you by Windy City Rooter. They drain your pipes, not your wallet. In women's U.S. soccer, the players reached a landmark agreement with the Sports American governing body to end a 6-year legal battle over equal pay, a deal in which they are promised $24 million plus bonuses that will match those of the men. Also, Van Jefferson's Super Bowl Sunday will be one that he never forgets. The wide receiver went from winning the Lombardi Trophy on his home turf to rushing to the hospital and meeting his newborn son, which he decided to name Champ.
Champ. They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
And finally, earlier, you know how I was telling you I was looking at a world map and the ocean currents?
Yeah, this is off the air, and I'm like, when did we start doing geography?
Yeah.
It's enough that we're teaching people a word of the day. Now we're going to do geography? I don't...
Right. Yeah. Well, a few weeks, a week or two ago, I told you a story about a class that sent off this little boat with a GPS tracker in it.
Yeah. And it made it over to
it went from New Hampshire
Norway
to Norway.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that the ocean currents go that way, Tom, because there was a hard hat that mysteriously traveled 3,300 miles from Maine to Norway.
The guy dropped his hard hat in the ocean.
Yeah,
and it's on a
Norway. Some construction worker found it in Norway. It's like the kids found the kid one.
Norway is the dump of America. You got something you don't want, throw it in the ocean, the Norwegians will deal with it.
It'll end up in Norway.
Yeah,
well, that's the way the ocean currents go. I think they go up over all that stuff.
Thank you, Stino. Explain that again. How's that? Where they go
up over all that stuff,
over the stuff.
You know, those continents, those countries.
What word are you trying to? I don't even. Thank you. There's science and geography with Stino.
Yeah,
enlightening.
You take your cruise up that way.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to. I'm literally just taking a hard hat to Alaska next summer. You got questions about our summer trip? Text them in now to 68255 studio, the keyword followed by what you want to know. Brian from Travel Leaders is here, and he will get them answered for you coming up in just a couple of minutes. Healthy lifestyle depends on quality sleep. Not all sleep is equal. You need restful sleep to get all the benefits of quality sleep. Sleep efficiency, very important too. As important as restful sleep, you got to get the right amount of sleep, and you got to get good quality sleep, and that's what I get with my Sleep Number bed. My setting is 40, and I've been moving it around lately because of stuff going on with my back and whatever, and it really does help. And then as I move during the night, my Sleep Number bed adjusts to me, and I wake up feeling better, feeling refreshed. I check the app, see my score, get hints to figure out how to get a better night's rest, and that really does lead to a quality of life. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep, which starts with Sleep Number's adjustability. It's the final days of the Ultimate Sleep Number event. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus special financing. It ends Monday, February 28th, only at Sleep Number stores or at sleepnumber.com. In Gurnee, find Sleep Number at 6631 Grand Avenue. In Vernon Hills, in the Westfield Hawthorne Mall, level 1 near Center Court. In Kenosha Pleasant Prairie, in front of Costco on 76th Street. And in McHenry, off 31, next to Buffalo Wild Wings at the shops at Fox River, subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details.
The Windy City Rooter. They drain your pipes, not your wallet.
The WIIL Rock Report. Daily.
Say that 3 times fast.
What?
Fear inoculum deluxe vinyls. Is that what it?
Fear Inoculum Deluxe vinyl set.
Is that what you said? Something like that. Yeah. Fear Inoculum Deluxe vinyl set. Fear Inoculum Deluxe. It's not doable. That is not doable. Can either buy that or go on a cruise with us to Alaska in August. The 95 WIIL ROCK Morning Show Summer Trip. 7-night cruise from Vancouver to Alaska, and then not back. You get more time in Alaska because when we leave from Anchorage, last time we went, we looped back around to Seattle. It was Seattle to Alaska and back. More stops. We're going on the Celebrity Millennium. I've been on one of its sister ships. Celebrity is the ultimate cruise line. It's awesome. And a great itinerary. We leave from Vancouver on August 19th. Then we do the Inside Passage, which is weird on a cruise ship. So you're going on this cruise ship, and there's land on both sides of you. It's like you're going up a giant river.
Right. Here's the question that we get: which side of the ship should we get on?
Right. You get everything on both sides.
Right. Absolutely.
When we got to the top of the fjord, the guy stopped and he said, as the glacier falls into the world, the ship can go further because there's more land because the glacier is disappearing. And the captain comes on and says, this is a record for the farthest up we've ever been. And so the ship stops there, and then the guy just like does a 360, just keeps doing 360s. Yeah. So your view is changing while you're on the ship. It was one of the coolest things. And then we leave the fjord. It's really neat. So we do the Inside Passage, and then we go to Ketchikan, which was awesome. I went to the bar. The Icy Strait Point, which I have no idea what that is.
So the Icy Strait Point is an area that has a lot of wildlife there. Humpback whales, orcas, seals, eagles, brown bears.
Crazy. And you do see this stuff. It's,
And there's man-made things there, like the largest zip rider in the world.
Yeah.
And
so
you can do adventure. ATV or Jeep tours. There's so much
helicopter
to do.
stuff. Yeah. And then we had to Juneau, which I've never been to Juneau before. After that,
the state capital.
After that, Skagway, which we went to that before. That's where we went on the train, I think. Right. And then we go to Hubbard Glacier, and look at that. And
so
then,
that is Hubbard is the largest tidewater glacier in the world.
So it's a record.
And it's one of the few glaciers that continues to grow. Most of the glaciers are melting. This one continues to
getting
grow.
Bigger.
Yeah, it's getting bigger. So it's about 400 years old, and I think it stretches about 75
and the
miles.
other glacier, the glacier we went on last time, it was awesome. You took a helicopter and you landed on this glacier. And to me, the helicopter ride was like the favorite part.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the glacier. It was so high up and you can see so much. The helicopter ride was, and then we landed on a glacier and walked around on a glacier. And the guy's like, now the rock that you're seeing there on the ground, it's just melted out of the ice. He goes, that hasn't been out in the world in like, I don't know, 100,000 years or whatever. So you pick up that rock, you're like, the last time this was out in the world was, and the ice is blue.
Yeah.
Like not white, like blue as blue can be. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's like a Caribbean color blue.
Yeah.
Or what you have on your computer screen there.
So many things I did not expect. And the excursions were. I mean, and that's why I'm thrilled to be going back because there were ones. There were like sled dog ones. You could ride a sled dog on a glacier and all of this stuff.
You brought up
train
flight scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is something that everybody should try and do because you are seeing some of the most magnificent scenery in the world.
And helicopters,
to
it
see
take your breath away
from a helicopter or what my kids did with my brother-in-law is they took a flight and then they came down in a river and then they had to walk to a certain area where the brown bears were feeding on salmon.
Yeah.
And they weren't interested in my kids, but they were interested in the salmon.
This is like stuff you see in movies, and then it's actually happening in front. And then you think to yourself, wait a second, this is real. This isn't Disney. That's not animatronics. But it looks so freakishly like this is what you see.
It's absolutely scary because maybe 30 feet away from you, this brown bear will be coming to the river, and you're just sitting there kind of watching this.
Swiping salmon
But it's
out.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? They don't really care for the fish.
Yeah.
It's the eggs that they really
Oh, really?
want.
Yeah.
So it's,
I didn't know that. They're after the salmon caviar.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Well, they should then get the eggs out and put them back in so they can make more. Bear, learn to do it responsibly. The one that I mentioned before, that I think that railway is like world famous or whatever.
It's one of the it's called the White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad, and so what that does is that goes past the Chilkoot Trail, which was the trail where the miners went.
Yeah.
What they had to do is they had to get 1 ton of supplies up for which basically covered 1 year of their stay in the gold
Right.
rush area.
So they needed this train.
So they need that was before the train,
Oh,
and so
okay.
what they would do is they would put these packs of like about 50 pounds. They'd have to go up about 900 feet. They'd have to drop that
Go
off.
back and do it again?
Yeah, and then they'd have
Boy,
to
you
do
should
that
build a
again.
train.
So they would
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
40 times
Yeah.
if they were able to survive. Some people did it with horses, and if you remember on that train ride,
Yeah.
you see definitely
There's stuff
see the
left
path,
over.
and there's
Yeah.
stuff left over.
Well, the
there.
train is, so it's one of these train trestles you see in a movie where it's like, I don't know how high up it is, 900 feet you're up. And it's not like a short little bridge. It's like a mile or two
Yeah.
long. And you look straight down this
and it's
train
open,
thing.
and it's open air.
And you can go out and stand on the back and look over the edge of this thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's occasionally though like a train car or an engine like down there.
Yeah.
They've improved the quality of it since that happened.
But it is kind of rickety.
But
You
you
hear all
see it.
these
There's one that
noises, and
fell?
it's like,
yeah, but like 100 years ago or whatever.
Oh,
Before,
okay.
yeah, they've improved it since then. But you go up into Canada and they say, "Oh, you can't get off because we're not officially in Canada. Stay on the train. If you
Yeah.
get off, then you have to emigrate or whatever."
Oh. Yeah.
So they change the track and then you head back. It's
Yeah,
really
that's
I'll
funny.
do the train thing again.
Yeah.
I'll do the helicopter to a glacier thing again. But I want to do the sled dog. There were so many things last time we went. The excursions. It is breathtaking. You save $100 if you book it before next Friday. Go to
and that price
95willrock.com.
with the discount is $22.99.
Yeah, and that includes your drinks on the ship.
Yeah.
It includes your food. It includes the tips. It includes the Wi-Fi. These add-ons that you normally get on a cruise are not. You got. It's a deal. I was expecting $1,000 more, Brian. I really was. If Alaska's on your list, this is the chance to do it at a great price. If it's not on your list, trust me, it should be. I'm thrilled to be. We could have gone other places, but I'm thrilled to be going back to Alaska again. Book it soon so you don't get shut out on the different options. You can get the link now at 95willrock.com. We got one more break with Brian from Travel Leaders. If you have questions, we want you to text them in now to 68255 studio, the keyword, and we'll get them answered next. That's 68255 studio, the first word in your message, followed by your questions for Brian from Travel Leaders. About our Alaska cruise on board the Celebrity Millennium. This August, the 19th to the 26th, early booking discount going on now. It is 8:47.
Some flurries this morning, then sunny today with a high of 25.
We head to the text line for your questions for Brian coming up next on Century Kitchens and Bath can do just that for you. They gave me the kitchen of my dreams. It was a room I hated, turned it into the best one. You got a bathroom you want remodeled, a rec room, a bedroom, you need a home office. They can do that. Outdoor space. Talking to them about redoing my deck now, which is rickety and scary. They're going to give me an outdoor space that I will love. They do that for every room in the house or your outdoor spaces. They can even build your whole home because Wausau Homes is now in the showroom at Century Kitchens and Bath. Find out what they can do for you by visiting the website. You can find their social media there, see before and after pictures, ongoing projects, and get the ball rolling. Get that free, no pressure, in-home consultation. Start at centurykitchensandbath.com. In the drink packages, Brian?
Yeah. So for instance, gins. This Beefeater, Bombay Dry, rums, Bacardi, Captain Morgan, Malibu, Myers, tequilas, Don Julio Blanco, which is one of my favorites.
Which is trouble.
Vodkas, Absolute, Smirnoff, New Amsterdam, whiskeys, Canadian Club, Dewar's, Jim Beam.
So it's the call stuff is there. Jack Daniels?
Jack Daniels is not. However,
why is Jim Beam but not Jack? It seems discriminatory.
I'm not exactly sure, but for an extra $12 per day, and I know how this group likes Jack Daniels.
I don't upgrade. I can drink whatever. So,
but for an extra $12 a day, they can get Jack Daniels Black, Jack Daniels Honey.
That's all right.
And Dewar's 12, Crown Royal. Beer. I mean,
drinks are included. Beer is included.
There's the American stuff, and there's also Alaska Brewing beer.
Yeah,
so
that's included. Yeah. So the drink packages. Yeah, we're talking about a great price for all your drinks, all your meals, and you're on a beautiful ship to get to see Alaska if it's on your bucket list. I'm not selling this to you. It sells itself. This is a public service announcement. I want to go to Alaska one day. No, one day is now. Do it now. You're going to be old or dead. So there's a selling point. Somebody had a text line said, Brian, you might want to leave the room for this. This text question says, are there going to be hookers and blow on the cruise? You know what? It's what you make of it.
Yeah.
Is weed legal in Canada? I don't know. Is weed legal?
Well,
I don't think so.
You're really spending most of your time in Alaska.
Yeah.
So,
but I was just thinking the night
very,
before
very short time.
In Vancouver.
You'll find
you're only in
someone who has
Vancouver in
weed.
the morning.
Yeah.
Don't
worry, everyone has weed on vacation.
And as far as hookers go, they say Western Canada has the most beautiful prostitutes in the world. I
you
think
want me
it's
to look
legal
up
there.
the hookers in Alaska
No,
for
that's
you?
all right, Stino. Thank
Okay.
you. Let's see. What does this say? Does the Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor members, which I'm a member of, get points because they are owned by Royal Caribbean?
Yes.
So does it cross over?
Yes.
All right. So I'm getting points on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Is a passport required for the Alaska trip? Yes, because we're flying from Chicago to Vancouver, which is Canada.
Correct.
So you have to get a passport to do that. But you got to get a passport if you want to go to Mexico.
You
or
should just
Canada.
have a passport.
You got to get a
anyways.
passport, right? Plus, when they do that real ID thing to fly, your passport will work if you haven't gone.
Yeah,
you haven't stood in line yet at the.
That's me right here.
DMV. Yeah.
Wonder when mine expires. I'm gonna look now.
Somebody said, "What about COVID?" All right, so
you have to be vaccinated.
All right.
So here's the definition.
as of now,
Yeah.
But this could change in the next couple of weeks,
Well,
or months, or what. We don't know.
Believe me, it's changed so often, and for our groups like yours, we threw so much paper away because the CDC had changed, and the governments had changed.
I'm
so
afraid
much.
to answer questions like that because it's like when the CDC says something, people want an answer, so they guess with an answer, and then it's wrong.
Right.
And like, you were lying, and they're like, no, we just it changed. But as of right now,
So here's the definition: you have to be fully vaccinated, which means 2 vaccination shots of the Pfizer and the Moderna, or one of the J&J.
Yeah.
And you have to have an antigen test before you arrive in Canada within 24 hours. So you're going to have to take that here. Now, what we're trying to get clarification of is on the return, because you're actually in the United States. Are you going to have
you're
to
in Alaska. That's right. We're leaving from Alaska, so we're not in another country when
so
we come back.
We asked the question of celebrity because it's not on their website. And this is from last week. They're still trying to get clarification. I don't believe so. But I think, Tom, that requirement is going to change
I wouldn't
really
bother answering
quick.
because it will be different.
It is going to be different because, France, the UK, they have changed it now that you have to have a test before you arrive.
And when I went on the cruise ship a couple of months ago, celebrity, we didn't have to wear masks because
that's changing right now too.
And I don't think we'll have to wear masks.
I don't think so.
Which will be, but hopefully by then that won't be a thing at all. So it all changes. Anyway, if you have other questions, in 3 minutes, Travel Leaders opens 833-TL-TRIPS, 833-TL-TRIPS. You can get them answered. You can book. You can get your deposit in if you're thinking about it just to save your space. Whatever, 833-TL-TRIPS. They open at 9 this morning. Or get all the details and book online at 95willrock.com. If you do it by next Friday, you get a $100 discount. Brian Hurley from Travel Leaders, thanks for coming down and joining us this morning. If you have questions, you can call Travel Leaders and say, I talk to that Hurley guy. He's trouble. But it is a great deal on a spectacular summer trip, and we hope you can join us. It's 8:57. Brian, thank you for coming.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, man. It is 8:57 now.
Some flurries this morning, then sunny today with a high of 25. Oh, yeah, I got to do news now.
Sorry, Stino.
Sorry, that was
That's all right.
Yeah, it is time for the 95 WIIL Rock 95-second update.
It is? Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
An investigation is underway after a homicide in Park City. It happened around 1:30 on Tuesday afternoon. When police arrived, they found a 19-year-old woman that had been hit by gunfire. The unidentified victim was rushed to the hospital where she died of her injuries. No arrests have been announced yet. COVID-19 rates continue to plummet across Illinois as the state is another day closer to lifting the indoor mask mandate. Illinois health officials say coronavirus-related hospitalizations fell by around 350 over the last week, sitting below 1,400 statewide. Statewide COVID ICU patients sit at their lowest number since early August. 95 WIIL Rock Sports. In the NFL, Aaron Rodgers says he's still making up his mind about whether he wants to return to the Green Bay Packers next season. Also in baseball, a driver was caught on video Friday morning going for a joyride in his SUV on the field of Petco Park in San Diego, tearing up the surface while doing donuts. The SUV came out from a ballpark tunnel onto the field while grounds crews were there, and the driver was arrested by police shortly after the incident.
If you're like, F it, I don't mind getting in trouble.
Right.
It's a pretty epic way to go out. But don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
But don't do it.
And finally, this is disgusting, and I would hate to be the person that had to go through all of these photos.
You showed me a bucket of mosquitoes last hour. That actually made me.
Yeah.
Is this worse than that?
This is 100% worse.
All right.
So, do you remember when you had mentioned that the day after the Super Bowl? What day is that?
You know what? What do you mean? It's a Monday.
What day?
Well, it's a week before President's Day. I want us to make the season longer, so the day after Super Bowl.
It doesn't have to do with that.
No, yeah. It's like poop day or something.
Yeah.
Because you eat so bad at your Super Bowl party that your digestive system is like. It's poo day. Is the Monday after the Super Bowl?
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Tushy.
I don't want this story.
Tushy.
Yeah.
Is a bidet company.
Okay.
And it offered $10,000 to the best post Super Bowl poop photos sent.
No, you're done. You're done.
They had to do this. So people sent in their photos.
And somebody had to judge them.
And they had to go through hundreds of thousands of pictures of people's turds. Yes, and somebody eventually won. I was trying to look for the winning pick, but I couldn't find it. I don't even know. I mean, I want to know what it takes to win
It's a little thing where I just let her go and I don't join in.
I want to
see where
know
she's going.
what it takes to win a poop competition. Like, do you need to have length? Do you
And
need to
she's off. And it's Mike. Were you trying to get Mike's suspension that time? Was that intentional?
No, I really want to know.
You're on Mike's suspension. We're done with that topic, okay? This is a project for your own time. Do you understand?
My time.
I need a verbal yes that you understand we're done with the topic.
Yes.
Do you agree to that?
Yes.
I'm going to turn your mic back on.
Okay.
But we're done with the topic.
Okay.
Are we done with the topic?
Yeah.
All right. It is 9:01.
Some flurries today, this morning. That we'll have then it will be sunny. I
can't
lost
with
all.
you. I can't with you.
I lost all.
Anyway, I'm
my-
going to go. We're going to Vegas. Radio thing. John Perry and I headed off to Vegas, so I'm going to go. Stino's in charge until 10. I will hopefully talk to you Friday morning on the show if I find a Guinness thing to try in Vegas. And then watch our social media Friday night. I'm going to Metallica in Vegas. So otherwise,
me a
I'll catch
hat.
your money. Get me a hat. Come and pick up my drinks, and I will.
I will.
Stino's taking over. We'll talk to you Monday. Have a great weekend. Stino is coming in next to fill in for me and Stino. I don't know how that works. I will rock.
So it can go right into songs.
Yeah, I'll sweep into songs here.
Okay.
And I'm sweeping into songs every other break, too. So, yeah, Stino, will you show Brian where to... Brian, thanks for coming down, man.
Nice seeing you.
Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Keep me up to date. I'm gonna keep send me pictures, and we'll hit it as hard as we can.
Okay, thanks.
Just grab this. Okay. Yeah.
Should be a great trip, man. So looking forward to it.